Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing live virtual machine lab 4-1 file and directory management in Linux. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using basic Linux commands, using some hard and soft links to create and move files around in Linux. This lab will take approximately an hour to complete. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get started. For exercise 1, using the Linux terminal, we are going to be using plab client 01. So first things first, we're going to launch the GNOME terminal. We're going to go connect to plab client 01, select the user administrator, and then type the password. So we're going to select administrator, type PASSW0RD. Hit enter and it should log us in. It might take a second. And now we are logged in. So once we are logged in, we want to click the show applications icon on the left pane. So let's scroll down, click show applications, and then we're going to right click on terminal and add it to our favorites. So let's do that. Right click, add to favorites. And then we are going to click terminal and open a terminal window. Keep the window open, so we'll leave this right here. So in this task, we're going to customize the GNOME terminal. So we want to make sure we're connected to plab client 01, which we are, where the terminal window is open. And then from there, we want to click on the menu icon and select preferences from the drop-down menu. So yeah, I need to scroll back up. Wait, it's this one, yeah. I'm going to select preferences. And in the preference general window, click on the theme variant drop-down list and select light. So we're going to be going into light mode now. And then after that, it says select unnamed on the left pane, which is right here. We're going to select unnamed. Scroll down a little bit so we can see this better. Then it says to click the drop down next to unnamed and select clone. So we're going to hit clone right here. And then in the clone profile dialog box, it's going to ask us to name it, which in that case we're going to type work. And then after that, we are asked to click clone. So we're going to hit clone. And now we have created a profile for our customizations. So now we're going to go back to preferences, profile, work pane, and then tick the custom front checkbox. Let me make sure I read this right. Preferences, let me zoom in on this so I can see it better. Oh, okay. We're just supposed to click on the monospace regular button. So, yep, we're in the right section. Yep, okay, I just wanted to make sure. So we're going to click the little checkbox here where it says custom font, and then we want to click monospace regular font. And then in the choose a terminal font dialog box, we're going to click on the plus sign and change the font size to 16. So then once we have done that, we're going to hit select. And then back on our preferences profile window, we want to uncheck the terminal bell checkbox. So that's going to be right here. We're going to uncheck that. And then we're going to notice now that the unnamed profile has a tick next to it, which indicates that the unnamed profile will be considered as the default profile. So we're going to click the drop down next to the work profile, and we want to select that as the default one. So we're going to click set as default. And now, as you can see, it should be set as default. So now we're going to close this window, and we're going to close the terminal window as well. And then after that, we are asked to click the terminal icon once again, and we're actually going to relaunch it. And then, all right, yeah, so that's pretty much it for the first exercise. We're just configuring some profile settings and this setting up the pathway for our next exercise. Towards the end, it does ask to take a screenshot of the plab client 01. If you did notice, the text is now a little bit bigger and the font is a little more bold because we changed the text size along with the font. So yeah, we're just asked to click the button to take a screenshot. Before I do this, I'm going to type in a quick terminal Linux command, and essentially what this is going to do is just put my student ID in front of the Linux command input, or not Linux command input, but essentially in front of the command line interface. The reason I'm doing this is because my professor asked me to put in a terminal Linux command that has our user ID or student ID in front, just to verify the credibility of our assignments, to ensure that we're submitting our own screenshots. So now that I've successfully done that, I'm going to take a screenshot. And yeah, so lab 1 or exercise 1 has been successfully completed. We are now going to move on to the next one. So here in exercise 2, we're going to navigate the Linux file system. In this exercise, you will use Linux commands in the terminal to navigate the file system in Linux. And you will also learn about folder hierarchy and create and remove directories within the Linux file system. So yeah, sounds good. So we want to connect to plab client 01, which we are already connected to. And then from there, we want to open our terminal window, which is already open. So now that we have our terminal window open, we're going to type pwd as asked for in step 2. There we can see home and administrator. And what this is going to do is it's going to show us the path of the directory that we are currently in. So now we are being asked to type ls, which is going to show us all the subdirectories that are available in the current directory. So these are essentially the subdirectories that are within the home folder, the subdirectories that go under the home folder, or the main directory for home, the main home directory, you could say. So now we're being asked to change our directory to the books subdirectory, so we're going to do that real quick. After that, we're going to type pwd once again, and as you can see now, we are in the books subdirectory. So as you can see, we have successfully conducted that command. Now we're going to type cd/, and that's going to move us back 1. So essentially, it's like you're moving back a space. You're moving back to your main directory, and you are no longer in the subdirectory. So now that we have done that, we're going to type pwd. And yeah, as you can see, there's nothing but a slash now. So now we're being asked to type cd/home administrator/books. And what this essentially does, so this command right here is going to put us back to where we just were a couple of seconds ago, in the book subdirectory under administrator under home. What this cd/ command did is that it essentially moved us back all the way back to the very first directory, or like essentially the main directory. So as you can see, the reason why there's only a slash but you don't see home or administrator is because we have went all the way back to the very first directory, where there is no subdirectories or no sub-hierarchy. So in order to get back to where we were just a couple of seconds ago in the books subdirectory, we're going to type this command. We're going to hit enter. And now as you can see, we are back in the book subdirectory. We're now being asked to type the pwd command one more time, so we're going to do that. And as you can see, we are back to where we were. After that, we're going to type cd, change directory, and we're going to put 2 periods after that. And what this does is puts us back into the home directory. So now we are no longer in the book subdirectory like how we were just a couple of seconds ago. We are now in the home directory. So now after that, we're going to clean up and clear this terminal by simply typing clear. And as you can see, the terminal has been cleared. So now we're going to keep this window open, and we are going to create some directories in this Linux file system. We're going to make a directory called contracts. So in order to do that, we're going to type mkdir, which stands for make directory, and then we're going to type contracts with a capital C, like is asked for in the instructions for the lab. So we're going to hit enter on that, and now we have created a brand new subdirectory called, or not subdirectory, we have created a new directory called contracts, and now if we type ls, as you can see, I mean, yeah, you could say subdirectory, seeing as it's under the administrator. But yeah, as you can see, now we have contracts as a directory, which was not there before, so we can prove that this command has successfully been run and that we have created a new directory. So now we're going to do remove directory, and the reason for this is because we want to now remove the directory that we have just created. So instead of typing mkdir, which stands for make directory, we're now going to type rmdir, which stands for remove directory. So we're going to remove this directory that we have just created. So in order to do that, we're going to type rmdir and then capital C contracts, hit enter, and as you can see, the command has been successfully run. In order to verify that, we're going to type ls, which is going to show us the directories. And now, as you can see, contracts is no longer here. So the directory that we have just created has now just been removed. We can no longer see contracts within this directory. So we can safely say that we have successfully run this command and that we were able to successfully remove the directory that we had just created. So now we are simply being asked to click this button in order to take a screenshot of our virtual machine. So I'm going to click take screenshot, let that load for a little bit, and yeah, this screenshot has been successfully taken. And yeah, that's pretty much it for exercise 2. So in this exercise, we kind of just navigated the Linux file system a little bit, created some directories, removed some directories, kind of just navigating our way around the Linux file directory. So yeah, very good stuff, very good information to know. And yeah, we are halfway done with this lab. Let's now move on to exercise 3. Create files in the Linux file system. So first things first, step 1, we're going to do sudo, let me click this to make sure it successfully gets my command, sudo apt-get update. Once we type in that, it's going to ask us for the password, which is this password with a capital P and a 0 instead of a 1. Excuse me. So we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to wait a couple seconds. As you can see, the update has been successful. Read package list done. So, very quick, very smooth. And now we're going to do another upgrade. We're going to type sudo apt, or not another upgrade, another update, I guess you can say, but this time instead of putting update, we're going to put upgrade. So we're going to do the same command as before, but put upgrade instead of update. We're going to hit enter. It's going to say could not lock, unable to acquire. I probably typed this wrong. Let me make sure I type this correctly. Sudo apt-get upgrade. Yeah, does not seem to want to let us update it or upgrade it. Let me try the update command first. Again, maybe it didn't work properly. Okay, now let me try upgrade. Okay, so it doesn't want to let me upgrade it for some reason. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can try and find out the problem real quick, and I will get back to you all quickly. All right. After some searching, the command is not working. Let me scroll back up and show you guys right here. So all I had to do was just to reboot the virtual machine. For some reason, it did not want to let me use the sudo apt-get upgrade command. But all I had to do was reboot the machine, and now the command has worked successfully, as you can see here. Yeah, my thing is very laggy, but Yeah, it did work successfully. So you just have to reboot your machine if you do encounter the same problem that I did. I'm gonna scroll all the way down here, and yeah, so let's continue with the lab. Do you want to continue? We're gonna type Y for yes. We're gonna hit enter, and then the entire package is gonna start installing. Everything is going to flow, as you can see. Whole bunch of preparing to unpack, preparing to unpack, preparing to unpack, unpacking, unpacking, unpacking. So yeah, essentially we're just installing a very big Linux package, I guess you could say, into our virtual machine. And yeah, this might take a minute or two, so I'm going to pause the recording and I will get back once the package has fully finished installing. All right, so the package has finished installing. So now that it has completed, we can continue with the next step. So we're asked to make a new directory. I meant to say directory called documents. So, oh, I don't know why that happened. CD space documents. That's going to create a new documents directory. And then we're going to type ls, and we can see these subfiles that are listed in the documents directory. So next we're going to type touch, and then we're going to type example1.txt, and after that we're going to type ls. And essentially what this does is that the touch command is used to create a new file called example1.txt, and if you can notice, the file is actually now listed in the directory example1.txt. It wasn't there before, but because we just created it, it is now there. So now we're going to type nano space example2.txt. And we are now using the nano text editor, and we're going to create a file named example2.txt. So we are now in the example2.txt file. We're asked to type the following. I have created this file using nano period space. I will use the shortcuts Control plus O and Control plus X to save the file and close nano period. So then we're going to click Control O on our keyboard, and that's going to prompt us to save the file. So as you can see, we have example2.txt loaded up right here. So we're going to click enter, and that's going to save the file. And now we're going to click Control X to help us exit the file and take us back to the command line interface. So we will now create a file using the Vim editor. And Vim is not installed by default on here, so we're going to have to install it ourselves. So in order to do that, we're going to type sudo space apt space install space Vim. And then it's going to ask us for the password, or it should at least, but it didn't ask us here. It's going to ask us if we want to continue. We're going to click or type Y to indicate yes, that we do want to continue. The system is a little laggy, as you can see, but it's no big deal. And yeah, it's going to install. I don't think it'll take that long. Yep, no more than a couple seconds. And now we have the Vim text editor installed on here. So now we're going to type Vim space example3, not 23, 3.txt. And we are now in the Vim text editor. So as you can see here in the example3.txt file, type the following so that Vim is in insert mode and that we can actually edit the file. So we're going to type I, and as you can see, now it says insert. So now we're going to type the text. This is an example of a file created using the Vim editor, period. And we're now going to type we're going to press the escape key on our keyboard. And then we're going to type the following command, which will be WQ, and we're going to press enter. And we have now exited the Vim editor window. So now we're going to go back to our terminal window, and we're going to type cat space example3.txt, and then we're enter, and it's going to tell us this is an example of a file created using the Vim editor. So the editor, or not the editor, the file that we just edited using the Vim editor, as you can see, it's right here, example3.txt. When we use that cat command, it's going to literally tell us this is an example of a file created using the Vim editor. So now we're being asked to click the button and take a screenshot of our virtual machine. So we're just going to take a screenshot, click take screenshot. The screenshot has been successfully taken. And yeah. So the cat command, what it does is that it will display the contents of the text file, it won't actually tell you this is an example of a file created using the Vim editor. Sorry about that, I was wrong about that. But yeah, the cat command, it just displays the contents of the text file. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're going to type clear in our command line interface. And yeah, that's it for exercise 3. We're going to move on to the 4th and final exercise of this lab. And then, yeah, we're going to finish this lab and we'll be completed. So exercise 4, move files and create links. In this exercise, you will move files between directories and create hard and soft links. So we're going to be using plab client 01, which we are already on. We're going to open the terminal window, which we are already in. And we're going to type cd -/books. So that's going to change our directory to the books directory. And then after that, we're going to type ls. And as you can see, we have a couple of text files that are in the books directory, or subdirectory, I guess you should say. So next up, we're asked to type cp dracula.txt, and then we're going to ask to type it again, but this time with a capital D. So yeah, we're going to hit enter, and then after that, so what it does is we just created a copy of the file named dracula.txt, as you can see here. So we just created a copy of this file, but we named it with a capital D instead of a lowercase d. So we're now going to type cp space frankenstein.txt, and then we're going to type /documents/F frankenstein.txt. So after that, we're going to change directories to the documents directory by typing cd/documents/. So we are now in the documents directory. Now we're going to type ls to see what kind of documents we are working with in our directory. The cp command that we used earlier will create a copy of the file named frankenstein.txt, and it will rename it to a capital F, Frankenstein. It's going to move it, or not move it, but it's going to put it in the documents directory. Hence the reason why we type documents and then frankenstein.txt. So now in the terminal window, we are going to type cd space /books, and then we're going to type rm dracula.txt, and then type ls. So what we did right now is we changed the directories to the books directory, and then we used that rm command, which removed the dracula.txt file from the directory. So now that we did ls, you can see the dracula.txt file is no longer here. Only the uppercase D, the capital D file is here, but the lowercase one, as you can see, we just removed it. So now it's gone from the books directory, and we can move on to the next step. So now we're going to type mv space dracula.txt, and then dracula.txt once again, but this time with a lowercase d. We're going to hit enter, and then after that, we're going to type ls. And now, as you can see, the mv command creates a copy of the dracula.txt command, or not command, the file, and it renames it to lowercase d, dracula.txt. And then it actually deletes the original Dracula file, which had a not lowercase, an uppercase d. So it essentially replaces the file that's in place, and then it deletes the original file and replaces it with the new file that you have just created. So yeah, as you can see, we did ls, and the capital D Dracula.txt file is nowhere to be found. So we know that we have successfully run this command and that the command went through. So now we're going to type clear, and we're now going to create hard links and soft links. So first things first, we are asked to type ln frankenstein.txt, and then the same command or same text file name, just with a uppercase F instead of a lowercase f. We're going to hit enter. Excuse me, we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to type stat frankenstein.txt, and then we're going to type the same command, but this time with a uppercase F instead of a lowercase f. So basically the ln command creates a hard link for the frankenstein.txt file, the lowercase f Frankenstein file, to the uppercase f Frankenstein text file. So essentially what this does is that it pretty much allows us to refer to the same file contents on the system, no matter how the file name is typed. So, you know, very useful, very cool information to know. As you can see, they have identical properties. These two text files have, yeah, like literally identical properties, you know, same size, same blocks, same access, same date of modification, same date of change. So yeah, pretty identical files. So we're now going to type ls-l in our command line, and then we're going to follow that up with a rm frankenstein.txt. So now we're going to remove the capital F frankenstein.txt file. After that, we're going to type ls-la, and so like I said before, the rm command will remove the hard link to the frankenstein.txt file, and then the ls-la command will be used to verify the removal of the hard link, to make sure that we have successfully removed the hard link for the capital F frankenstein.txt file. And then if you can notice, the hard link file is actually now gone. It's removed. It is no longer there, which means we have successfully run this command. So now we're going to go to our terminal window, and we are going to type ln-s ln-s, oh wait, hold on, ln-s home / administrator / books / dracula.txt, and then /home / administrator / books / dracula.txt. And after that, we're going to type ls-l, and the ln-s command creates a soft link for the Dracula.txt file, the lowercase d file, to the uppercase d Dracula.txt file. So after that, we're going to go back to our terminal window, and we are going to type rm space capital D Dracula.txt, and then we're going to follow that up with a ls-l command. So the rm command, like we did before, will remove the soft link to Dracula.txt, and the ls-l command is used to verify the removal of the soft link for the capital D Dracula.txt file. So if you can notice, the soft link file is now removed and gone. So we're going to go back to our terminal window, and we're going to type cd and then /desktop. Excuse me, we're going to change directories real quick, and then we're going to type the same command we did before, or not same, but similar command, ln-s And then, yeah, it seems like my virtual machine has frozen, or my connection is dropping. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back once I have this issue solved. All right, we are back in business. I just had to reconnect to the virtual machine real quickly. If you do face the same problem that I did, all you have to do is click this little refresh button right here, and this will reconnect you to the virtual machine. Uh, so yeah, let's keep going with our lab. So as before, we were typing ln space dash s, and then we're going to type slash home slash administrator slash books slash dracula.txt. And then we're going to type the same commands. However, instead of typing the books subdirectory, we're going to type the desktop directory. And then we're going to put a capital D instead of a lowercase d for the dracula.txt. We're going to hit enter, and then from there we're going to type ls-l. And essentially what this command has done is it has created a new soft link file named dracula.txt in the desktop. So now we're going to minimize the terminal window. And then as you can see, you can actually see the soft linked file called dracula.txt. It is now appearing on our desktop. So to make sure that the link actually works, we're going to double click it. And yeah, as you can see, the link works. The file has been opened. You have all this text right here. So yeah, the text file does indeed work. The commands were run successfully, as you can see. We have 15,000 lines of text, maybe even more. But yeah, so by double clicking on it, we just verified that the soft link for the Dracula text file did actually work. So now we're being asked to take a screenshot. I'm going to just take a screenshot of the text file just to ensure and verify, to let the instructor know that the Dracula soft link command did indeed work. So I'm just going to click take screenshot. And now we're being simply asked to close the text editor. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the live virtual machine lab 4-1 file and directory management in Linux. We went through 4 exercises, and I think this took about 40-45 minutes to complete. So yeah, I hope that I was some sort of help to you, and I hope that you learned something from this video. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.